You probably didn't see this one coming, or maybe you did. I don't know. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, although honestly lately this channel should probably just be called Red Seat Roster Moves, because over the past week or so the Boston Red Sox have had what I think might be the most fluid 26-man roster in all of Major League Baseball because of guys coming back from injuries and other additions outside of the organization. It's been a day after day, a constant stream of roster moves for this Red Sox team, and today is no different because last night the Boston Red Sox got their young stud back in Brayan Bello, which obviously means someone's got to go, and that's someone who ended up getting options. Might be a bit of a surprise to some people. It certainly was for me when I first saw the news. So what we are going to do in today's video is we're going to break this move down. Obviously what the impact of Brayan Bello coming back is going to look like, but who got demoted, why they got demoted, and how that's going to impact the 2024 Red Sox. But before we get into that, first of all, a very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers of Red Seat Radio, especially to my mother specifically, who is probably the biggest reason why I'm sitting here today obsessed and making videos of the Boston Red Sox every day. She is a massive Red Sox fan and a huge supporter of what I do. So thank you for everything, Mom. I love you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so like I said in the intro, let's start with the impact of Brayan Bello coming back. It'll be announced later today that the Red Sox are reactivating Brayan Bello from the 15-day IL, and this is fantastic for a couple of different reasons. The first reason is because for the first time basically since Nick Pivetta went down on opening day, the Red Sox now have a full legitimate rotation. Houck, Crawford, Pivetta, Bello, and Criswell, who had another excellent start yesterday that we will talk about in tomorrow's series recap. That's a full rotation for the Boston Red Sox, and the first time they can really say that for over a month. This is going to help out the bullpen a ton. Having to use them as much as the Red Sox have so far this year certainly isn't ideal, and not having a bullpen game for the foreseeable future should go a long way in preventing any blowouts or anything in there. The other reason, obviously, it's great to have Bello back in general. He's had some rockier starts this year, but we all know what that potential looks like, and we all know what he can do on the mound and how impactful he can be for this Red Sox team. Plus, he had his best start of the season before going onto the IL. 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, and 6 Ks against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Obviously, there's still some work left to do there, and I am assuming it's probably not going to look like that coming off of the IL. It's going to take him some time to really get back into the swing of things overall, but it feels great to have him back and fully healthy on this team. It feels like it's a really good sign that the Red Sox are starting to turn a corner in terms of their injury list also, right? Over the past couple of days, we've gotten back some really big pieces. Vaughn Grissom, Rob Refsnyder came back the other day. You got Romy Gonzalez, who's on a smaller scale but still impactful. Pivetta, and now Bello. Once you get Whitlock back, you're probably looking at close to what the Red Sox are going to look like fully healthy, and full healthy is going to be really important. It's something I honestly didn't think the Red Sox would ever be able to get to, so fantastic to get Brayan Bello back. But obviously, as is the theme of this video and the biggest part of this video, someone had to be demoted or DFA'd to make room for Brayan Bello on the 26-man roster, and this is where the bit of a surprise came. At least it was for me when I first saw this news, and that was that the Red Sox are going to be optioning Josh Winckowski to make room for Brayan Bello on the Red Sox 26-man roster. There were a few options for the Red Sox to choose from here. Cam Boozer, Chase Anderson, or Zach Kelly were also options for the Red Sox to DFA or option to make room for Brayan Bello, but the Red Sox went the route of Josh Winckowski, which is a bit surprising just because of how impactful he was for the Red Sox last year, and because of the fact that he was starting games for this team amongst all the injuries as well. And it's not like he's been terrible this season so far. It's a 3.33 ERA in 12 games with 3 starts, a bit higher, a 4.27 FIP, which I'm guessing has a lot to do with the fact that his walk rate is up to 4.1 per 9, while his strikeout rate is down this year to 7 per 9, which is about a strikeout less per 9 innings than he has had over his career so far. That's also led to a 1.562 WHIP and a 127 ERA plus, about 27% more productive on the mound than the average pitcher in Major League Baseball. So yes, the stats are down a bit compared to last year, but it's still a pretty solid outing so far for Josh Winckowski. So what is the possible reason for this demotion? Well, I think there might be 2 possible reasons here. The first one is overall metrics surrounding Josh Winckowski on the mound aren't exactly encouraging, especially when you compare it to last season. Right now, his overall pitching run value, which essentially gives a numeric value to every single pitch a pitcher throws in how well it prevents runs coming across the plate, basically, that's sitting at -5 right now, which is in just the 14th percentile in all of Major League Baseball, meaning 86% of the league has a better pitching run value right now than Josh Winckowski. Last year, that was in the 62nd percentile. That's a really, really big drop in statistic effectiveness for Josh Winckowski on the mound. But it's not just that. He's getting hit harder than he was last year. Both his hard hit percentage and barrel percentage have gone up. He's getting less swing and miss, less chases on pitches outside of the zone. In fact, the only metric he is measurably better in this year than last year was breaking pitch run value, which makes sense because of Andrew Bailey's sort of focus on improving breaking pitches in the zone. But outside of that, yeah, it's not exactly pretty. In fact, every other measurable metric is worse than it was in 2023. The answer to the question of why they would demote Josh Winckowski is they could just simply want Wink to work on a few things without the pressure of having to perform at the big league level. Really sort of retool his arsenal a bit and really try to get back to missing more bats and generating more weak contact, something he was doing a lot of last year that led to such an effective pitcher out of the bullpen. Obviously, this year that effectiveness has gone down a lot, and this gives the Red Sox the opportunity to really sort of hone in on the things that are bothering Josh Winckowski or being an issue for Josh Winckowski on the mound this year and try to get those back to a place closer to where he was in 2023. The other possible reason for this is because the other options we mentioned really aren't movable right now for this Red Sox team. Obviously, probably not Chase Anderson, who probably could have gotten DFA'd at some point. You might have been able to get away with DFAing him and still having that effectiveness out of the bullpen, but I'm talking specifically about guys like Cam Boozer and Zach Kelly, because right now, Zach Kelly doesn't yet qualify to be compared to the rest of Major League Baseball, at least on Baseball Savant, right? You need to get to a certain amount of innings pitched, a certain amount of pitches thrown, but they do give you a preview of what that looks like, and there's a whole lot of dark red on this Baseball Savant page, meaning he has been well above average in almost every single measurable category so far this year at the Major League level. That, to me, is a really, really difficult decision to make in terms of, well, we need to make room on this roster. Let's get rid of Zach Kelly, who has been absolutely incredible metric-wise on the mound for this team so far, and it's really the same story with Cam Boozer. Again, he hasn't pitched the amount of innings or overall pitches thrown that he needs to qualify to be compared to the rest of the league, but again, you look at the preview of what that's going to look like when they do qualify, and there's a whole lot of red there as well. It's obviously pretty hard to sit here and say, yeah, one of those two guys deserve that demotion over Josh Winckowski, especially when you're looking at their outlying statistics where it's saying, hey, these guys have been effective so far, but they could probably get a whole lot better and might get a whole lot better in that bullpen for this team. I think what you're looking at in terms of the reasoning for the Josh Winckowski demotion is a combination of both. Josh Winckowski just doesn't look like the same pitcher we saw in 2023, and the Red Sox have the opportunity because of the depth in this bullpen that allows them to demote Josh Winckowski, try to get him right in a less competitive, a less impactful environment that hopefully can allow him to really hone in on what's wrong and adjust from there. What I really think this demotion points to, and probably the most important part of this demotion, is how deep and how effective the Red Sox depth has been in the bullpen so far this year. In years past, the Red Sox depth depth in terms of bullpen pieces have been guys like Caleb Ort and Joe Jakes, who once they get to the major league level, it's very, very clear that they're just flat out outmatched. They just aren't big league pitchers. They are depth pieces who help you prevent further mishaps in the 40-man roster, but they're not guys who could make an impact at a big league level. This year, however, look at the pieces that you've been able to bring up and supplement this bullpen with. Cam Boozer, Zach Kelly, other players have as well who have come up and been very legitimate impact pieces for the Boston Red Sox. It's been a long time since we've been able to say that, and I actually think that's the most positive part of this Red Sox demotion, is that it points to just how deep this Red Sox bullpen really is, and I think that's going to be an important factor for this team as they try to go through 162 games. Obviously, at the end of the day, you got to feel bad for Josh Winckowski, who, again, over the past couple of years has really sort of been a major part of this Red Sox bullpen, specifically in 2023, but I don't think this is the last we'll see of Josh. I don't think he's going to go down there and sort of wallow in self-pity and be that pitcher who ends up being that depth piece for this team. I do think there are legitimate things that the Red Sox want him to work on and that he's going to work on in AAA to try and get him back to the major leagues and get him back into being an effective multi-inning reliever for the Boston Red Sox. But for right now, that's not going to happen. So you take a look at this move overall and you think to yourself, and at least me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying it was a bit of a surprise at first, but once you dig into why the Red Sox may have done this, I do think they made the right decision, and I do think this is a decision that's ultimately going to benefit the Red Sox long term. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of the latest Red Sox roster move? Do you like this decision to demote Josh Winckowski? Do you think it makes sense? Would you have gone a different route, done something else to fit Brayan Bello onto this 26-man roster? What are your thoughts on the latest Red Sox roster move? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As always, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just helps these videos out a ton, and it means a lot to me. Again, a very special happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in Red Seat Radio, as well as all the mothers outside of Red Seat Radio. Thank you for everything you do for all of us. We all love you, specifically my mom. Thank you for everything you do. I love you very much. Thank you all for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.